Welcome to Career Services Guide to On-Campus Employment. Today we will review how to apply for a job and the paperwork you need to complete once being hired. Getting a job on campus is rather simple. First things first, you'll want to set up your Handshake profile by uploading your resume and any other relevant documents. See our Handshake how-to video for more details. If you don't have a resume, see our video on writing an attention-grabbing resume. You can also make an appointment on Handshake to have a Career Services staff member look it over. Something important to know before you apply is your work-study status. There are two types of jobs on campus, work-study and temp service. This essentially just determines where the money in your paycheck is sourced from. Some jobs are work-study only. To check on your work-study status, look under the Financial Aid tab in Web Banner. If you have any questions about your work-study status or eligibility, contact the Financial Aid office. Once you apply, treat the job like any other and follow up. Be ready to interview. See our video on acing the interview for help. Once you're hired, check your email. You should receive an email from Student Employment saying that you need to come to our office to complete new hire paperwork. The email will provide you with instructions, and we will review the different forms in this video. It is very important to note that if you make mistakes while completing the forms, do not use whiteout and do not scribble. If you make a mistake, you can draw a single line through the error, initial the area, and write in the correction, or you can start the form again. Moving on to forms, we have the I-9. The I-9 form is used to verify the identity and employment authorization of individuals hired for employment in the United States. On the first side, you will need to fill out your last name, first name, middle initial, any other last names, your permanent address, city, state, and zip code, your date of birth, social security number, your email address, and your phone number. It is important to note that if a field does not pertain to you, such as apartment number, that you write NA in this space. You must check the citizenship box that pertains to your status and fill in the information in the box if applicable. You must then sign and date the form and check the preparer or translator box that pertains to you. Please do not fill out anything on the second part of the I-9. That will be filled out by a staff member when you come in to show your documents. So, acceptable documents. Any document you bring in must be unexpired and original. You can bring in certified copies of things like your birth certificate, but photocopies cannot be accepted. We will not tell you and cannot tell you what documents to bring, but as long as you bring any unexpired original document from List A or List B and C, you should not run into any issues. To repeat, you can bring in one document from List A or two documents, one from List B and one from List C. Next, we have the W-4. You need to complete the W-4 so that your employer can withhold the correct federal income tax from your pay. You will need to fill in your first name and middle initial, last name, social security number, and check a box for filing status. Step 2 needs to be completed if you have multiple jobs. If you only have 2 jobs, you can select that option under that section. Step 3 is for claiming dependents, and Step 4 is allotting additional withholding amounts. If Steps 2 through 4 apply to you but you are not sure what to fill in, check the description box on this video for links to the calculation worksheets. If you do not have to complete 2 through 4, you can skip to Step 5 and sign and date the form. Next, we have the IT-2104. This is used to determine how much state income tax is to be withheld. On this form, you will need to fill in your first name and middle initial, last name, social security number, permanent address, city, state, and zip code, and check a box for your filing status. It is important again to note that if a field does not pertain to you, such as apartment number, that you write NA in this space. You will then check yes or no to questions about your residency in New York. Please only check that you live in New York City if you actually live in the city, not in the area surrounding it. Next, you will need to enter a number into line 1. This is not a dollar amount. We cannot tell you what number to enter, but most students enter a 0 or a 1, with a 0 withholding the greatest amount with more return, and a 1 having a slightly larger paycheck with a smaller return. Students are welcome to claim as many allowances as pertain to them from the worksheet. If you are a resident of New York City, you will need to repeat this process again on line 2. There are several pages of worksheets to help you determine which number of allowances is right for you. You may skip lines 3 through 5 and sign and date the form. Next, we have the oath and direct deposit. This first form is representative of an oath that all New York State employees must take to work for the state. There is an extensive document that goes along with this piece of paper that outlines the labor practices and relevant laws of New York State. Signing this document means that you will abide by those conditions as an employee. You may read this by clicking on the link in the description or asking for a copy if you are filling out this form in our office. If you sign the form in our office, you will only need to fill in your name and sign the date, both of the lines marked with an X, as the middle section will be filled out already. Next, we have the updated direct deposit form for New York State. You will need to fill in your personal information in Section A and enter your account information into Section B. If you're depositing into multiple accounts, you will need to fill out Section C as well. You may fill out Section D if you'd like to go paperless, and Section E pertains to joint account holders. Once you have completed this form, you will sign and date it. On the next form are examples of a voided check and a direct deposit letter. You will need to attach one of these to your form in order to complete the process. So here we have the voided check and the direct deposit sign-up form. You will want to write void across the check in large letters in pen. And for the direct deposit form, it's important to note that you cannot fill it in yourself as I have done for the example. It will need to be a copy that is created and filled in by your financial institution. So that's all we have for you today. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us at career@brockport.edu or by phone at 585-395-2159. We also have our social media here. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You can follow us at Brockport Career, or our name for our pages on Facebook and YouTube are SUNY Brockport Career Services. Good luck at your new job.